Good morning, it's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to pull some cards and share some guidance for this week ahead. That's this week starting Wednesday the 5th of October through till Tuesday the 11th of October 2022. So while you're coming over, I want to send out a big welcome and big extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons for October, my Pillar of Light family, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for being here. I want to send out also a big hello and waves and thank you to Carol Wetherill. Carol, I got your card and your donation in the mail. Thank you so much. Carol's from Texas. So I got this beautiful letter, which I'm going to reply to in the next few days. So I want to thank you, Carol, and to Janie, your friend, for taking you my videos and you dissecting the videos each week. So thank you. So I'm coming to you live from Tasmania, Australia. I'm right in the middle of the island of Tasmania, which is at the very southern part of Australia, heart-shaped island. And I'm in a little town called Campbelltown now, right in the middle, in the Midlands. And it's currently Wednesday the 5th of October here at exactly 12:35 p.m. That means I did it again. I said good morning and it's actually afternoon. Oh dear. Oh well, it's not the end of the world, is it? So I'm here to pull some cards. So I want to welcome our new viewers today. So welcome if you're new. Please let us know if you are new. And also welcome to you, my regular viewers who come in most, if not every week. Thank you so much. We had a bit of a weird thing happen last week. The video went poof. It vanished for about 4 days or 5 days and Facebook just poofed it. So luckily Corey managed to download before that happened and we got it onto YouTube. So if you didn't see the video last week, I did put a couple of posts up just to point you back to YouTube where you could view the video. And then the video reappeared a couple of days ago. So hopefully that doesn't happen this week. Hopefully it was just a bit of a weird glitch last week. So it's great to be here. So what I'll be doing is pulling some cards. I'm using my own deck that I've created. Well, 2 decks I've combined together. I've got Animal Kingdom Oracle cards here and the Speed of Light Oracle. And I've got 110 cards to play with, which is lots of fun. So I'll be pulling some cards based on the way I choose my cards for the majority of us for this week. I'll lay them down beside me and then I'll talk about the cards that come up. So I trust it works for you and resonates on some level. Welcome, Tabitha. I see Tabitha is new. Welcome. So let's get started. While I'm starting to shuffle, let's just reflect on last week's theme card, which was New Pathways. And the New Pathways card talks about options and opportunities. It talks about multiple things coming up potentially around the opportunity or options sort of area. So did that happen for you last week? I know it absolutely did for me. So that was our theme. But we turn our attention now to this new reading week, which starts Wednesday the 5th of October and goes through till Tuesday the 11th of October. So I recommend that you take on board what feels right with this reading today and let the rest go. And just think of this as a guide only. And the things that really speak to you, please work with that as best as you can throughout the week and throughout the days. We've got a visitor. Should I pick her up? She's looking at me with these cute little eyes. You want to come and say hello to our friends? Come on then. Here she is, Miss Puss. She's here to listen to the reading again and to probably wonder why this crazy human is just talking to no one. So she thinks I'm talking to her, I suppose. So let's grab some cards. So I'm looking for the best cards for this week ahead, starting Wednesday the 5th of October through till Tuesday the 11th of October 2022. The best cards that the majority of us need. So I trust you've been led here for a reason, and whatever that reason is going to be personal for you. So be open to receiving what you need. So the best cards for this week are these. I'm going to just place them face down here. So just bear with me a second. We're going to go down to like a mountain shape pointing up. Actually, it's going to be more like a pyramid. Okay, so we've got 5 Speed of Light, 2 Animal Kingdom. Let's turn them over. Okay, awesome. Okay, we've got 1 featured card. The Turtle Dreaming. It has further instructions here, which is unique to these decks. And it says to take the bottom card from the deck. So I'm going back to my deck here that I finished with just then, and I'm going to take the bottom card. Ah, we have the Fox again. Okay, we've got... It feels like things are sort of shifting. There's been an intensity around for quite some time, so things are moving, and we saw the evidence of this start last week, so it feels like it's going to potentially continue. So let's start with Wednesday, the 5th of October. We have card 19 called Integration, and it says settling, grounding, nature, and calm. So this is a time where we can probably take that big sigh of relief and take that breath now, where maybe something's resolved, something's complete, or something's moving again. So there's been a hovering feeling, a bit of a red light on for some time. It's been some weeks, some months for some things, and in some cases a couple of years that the red light has been on and things haven't really been moving very fast on the surface or in the physical sense. There's been a lot happening behind the scenes, but we can't see that. So it's kind of a little bit of a tease, but there's been a lot shuffling behind the scenes. And finally, it feels in this last few days, and this is ongoing into this week, and especially Wednesday, that the green light is turning on and things are starting to move. Things are starting to settle. Things are resolving. So the intensity that's been present and it's been building up for at least the last few weeks, if not months, is starting to release. And I talked a lot about this last week, about the pressure that's been building, and I talked a lot about pressure and releasing the pressure that we feel like we're under. And I feel in some ways this energy that I'm picking up on for Wednesday is like the pressure has been released. So it's like that big breath out where we can breathe a sigh of relief now, where the maybe the volcanic explosion in our life has now passed, where the storm has settled, where the dawn has risen after the darkest part of the night, or the dark part of the soul that some of us have been going through. So it does feel calming, settling. Take some big deep breaths and just take stock of where you are and where you find yourself now, especially on Wednesday, which is probably now if you're watching this, unless it's Tuesday for you. It may be too that some of us are called into nature on Wednesday or around this time, middle of the week, to kind of catch our breath and just slow things down. So it does feel nice and settling. Integrating also changes, like digesting things, really sitting with things that have happened in the last few days or the last few weeks to see how they sit or how they play out now in our life. What's the reality of the consequences of what's happened? Like if something happened a few weeks ago that was a big life change or a loss or something like this that was a big impact for us, it might be like Wednesday or around this middle of the week where we have a few moments to take stock, to really let the reality sink in and integrate what's actually happened in our life. And that feels really important. So it might be uncomfortable for some of us who have had really big things happen in the last couple of weeks. So sitting in that sort of raw emotion and just going, okay, this is the reality of the situation now. This is how my life is, at least for now. So how am I going to move forward from here? Or how am I going to let this settle for me in my life? So integration for Wednesday. Now we move to Thursday, the 6th of October, and we have card 1, Boundaries. And it says truth, protection, courage, and bravery. And I feel like there's a lot of this courageous energy around too at the moment, where a lot of us have been encouraged to find that courage to face the difficult parts of our life, to almost walk into that pain, walk into that suffering or that destruction that we feel so that we can resolve it. It's almost like to resolve it, we need to walk through it. To turn away from it creates more, is what the feeling is. So a lot of us have, in some ways, been forced to look at the difficult things that we've been going through in our life. So the courage is really strong, and breathing and building that courage that we have to face these difficult situations, to face our fear, to walk into the unknown. It requires courage, personal courage. This card's also about our boundaries. So especially on Thursday, we might find that our boundaries are very much highlighted, and we might need to reflect on, maybe this is a good thing to do too on Wednesday when we're in that sort of settling, calmer space potentially, is to reflect on our current state, the current state of our boundaries. Have they become a bit relaxed? In some areas, is the fence down? In some areas, I think of it like a fence that keeps livestock in. So sometimes the fence is down and all the livestock gets out, or livestock comes in that we don't want in. So, you know, what's the current state of your boundaries? Now, the boundaries can become unhealthy and they become like big castle walls that we want to hide behind, or we need to defend, and we hold back there. Really, it's a place where it's usually a safety thing, where perhaps we've been hurt in the past and we don't want to be hurt again. So we put these big walls up around us that we call boundaries, but I call them defences because we tend to want to defend them, you know, and we hide behind them as well. So just make sure your boundaries haven't become defences that you've got to protect and you've got to hide behind and you've got to defend, because that's very different to boundaries, even though boundaries can turn into defences if we're not careful. So let's be aware of our current state of boundaries. Are they healthy? Are they working for us? Where are the fences down? Where are we up in defense mode? And what can we do to create some new, perhaps, or revised, healthy boundaries around us? So as we change, and we've changed a lot in these last few weeks, as we change, our priorities change, and also our boundaries and what is accepted and what's not accepted of our boundaries also changes. So it might be worth reflecting on this, especially if there's been some issues around our boundaries of late. So that's especially coming up for Thursday. Now, Friday, we have our featured card, Friday the 7th, and we've got the turtle dreaming with the fox. So they've come up together for a reason. And what we're going to do is look at them separately, then we'll look at their relationship together. And the turtle is card 45, and it says serious, clarification, concentrate, and specific. And this guy's got attitude. He wants us to get serious now and stop making excuses, to stop looking the other way and start really getting serious about something that needs us to get serious about now. It could be our dreams. The turtle's holding a dream catcher here on its back. Could be getting serious about our boundaries. But it's most likely getting serious about this, connected with the fox. And the fox is card 8. And the fox says to find a way. Find a way. Find a way to carve out this new path for yourself. And it's time to get serious about it. So where are you at on your life's path? So this is carving out a new path for ourselves. This is very much about our path, where we're going in life. And in some ways, I was talking about it in the current energy report this morning, but returning back to life, back to our life's path. So the fox is a very motivating card to me, because I feel like it's showing, it's sort of a determination, a motivation, a self-motivation to find a way to carve out this path for ourselves now. And because it's come up with the turtle, we need to get serious about that. It's time to stop talking about it and start doing it. You know, it's easy to talk about things. The hard part is putting it into practice. So are you all talk and not practice? And if you are, what talk do you speak that you need to put into practice, especially in regards to your life's path and where you want to go now moving forward? So stop putting it off. Stop making excuses. Stop being just a talker. Put your words into action. Back them up with action. So that's coming in really strongly, especially for Friday. Now, Saturday, we have, Saturday the 8th, we have the Yogi. Pretty sure this came up last week. It's card 32. And it says, Epiphany, learn, lead, and comprehend. This is the penny dropping. So we might have had a couple of these lately, because I'm pretty sure this card came up last week, if not the week before. But there have been, I've noticed personally, a lot of pennies dropping. You know, epiphanies, like those aha moments, the light bulb moments. The light bulb turns on and it's like, now I get it. Now I see why I had to go through that, or what this was teaching me, what I learned here, how much stronger I am because of this experience. Now I see more clearly where I need to go. It's very hard to carve out a path for ourselves if we're not seeing very clearly who we are or where we're going. So it's easy to say, for me, to sit here and say to you, can you get serious now about carving out a new path for yourself? And it's like, yeah, I'm ready to get serious, but where do I start? What do I do? Where do I want to go? So there are a lot of questions that arise from this, even though it's very motivating. And for those of you who kind of know where you want to go, this would really speak to you. But there might be some of you who are connecting, who are thinking, you know, I don't really have clarity on this. I really want this, but I'm missing the next step somehow. Almost like that I want to get serious about is just kind of over there in the next field, or over there in the next room. How do I get from here to there? So that's the part, that's the clarity somehow. And it feels like something's going to potentially drop for us on that, drop in around Saturday. So probably after that energy that I was just talking about then. So we might be motivated to do something, but then it's like, okay, well, what do I do? So asking ourselves lots of questions so we can get clarity and feel a rise in confidence in regards to what we want to do now and where we want to go with this. So an epiphany, and there is this sense of leadership too in this card, and also a sense here of learning. So learning and leading, the student, the teacher. So there might be a clue too for some of us. Maybe some of us need to step up into our role of learning or into leading or teaching. Some of us may need to step up into that role of learning and being the student and getting some more skills or some new knowledge that also wants to come through. So there may be a connection there, but this is the light bulb moment, which is exciting. I love it when they drop in. When you least expect it, you have this, and I think my eyes do widen up, and I probably widen my mouth, and it's like, oh my gosh. And then I get my journal usually and write. Okay, Sunday, the 9th of October. And we have the Owls, card 35. And they say the power of observation. So this is observing, watching, waiting, paying attention. In some ways, this is like the red light, but probably not the big red light a lot of us have had on some ongoing situations. This is probably a general pause in some ways. It doesn't mean inaction. It doesn't mean doing nothing. It means we're kind of observing and waiting for the right moment to pounce, the right moment to move. Let's be careful we're not making excuses with that though too, because we can put things off and say, I'll quit smoking when it's my birthday, or I'll do this when this happens. And sometimes that's a distraction sort of tactic, that we kind of put things off. We sort of say we're going to do it, but we never do it. So just be careful it's not that, but observing and kind of being ready to really pounce and act when that moment calls, when that green light turns on. So that's the energy for Sunday. Now, Monday, the 10th of October, we have card 51, Temple of Maya, and this is one of my favourite cards. It says manifestation, revelation, and purpose. And this is, first of all, talking about a structure or a building of some sort. So there may be a building that's significant for you, that's not your everyday stuff, but something that's happening around building, connected on Monday. Or it could also be about creating more structure in your life if things have been a bit lazy or lackadaisy or a bit relaxed in your life, and you know you've got to get a bit more order or a bit more structure to your routine or to your life in general, then this would certainly be a message for you. There is also a big element in this card about purpose and a feeling of revived purpose, and it does come somehow through that pathway of structure. So if you're finding yourself a bit feeling a bit purposeless or a bit like you're wandering around aimlessly and you don't really have much direction at the moment, or maybe you haven't for a while, then maybe you will find that through that channel of finding more structure in your life, and especially with your routine. So don't underestimate the power of finding structure in your routine and getting a bit more organized in your life if that's been a bit relaxed of late, because it does feel like that's almost like the door that can take us into that feeling, or that sense of feeling more purpose and more direction and more meaning for us personally. So it's accessed through, it feels to me at the moment, through that doorway of structure or being organized. So it's quite an exciting card, this one, the Temple of Maya. And then for Tuesday the 11th of October, we have Shelter, card 51. And it says to seek safe shelter. And this takes us back, because we've sort of done a circle here, it takes us back to the very first card for Wednesday, which was the integration card. So it's almost like we've just come full circle now, and this feels very similar to that integration card. It does bring highlight around the home, potentially, or finding a safe space. It could be a room, a vehicle, a place in nature, a corner somewhere. Could be your home itself or a place you like to visit, but it is a safe sort of a zone for you where you feel comfortable to be yourself. It doesn't necessarily, in fact, it's probably unlikely to be around any other person. It's about feeling safe within our own space and within our own skin. So really it doesn't matter where we are, does it? We could be seeking safety or a safe place where we can be ourselves, but actually maybe that place to be found is inside our skin, is inside ourselves. So perhaps it doesn't matter where we are, that it's actually inside. So there's a feeling of settling into ourselves a little bit more on Tuesday, and finding a sense of calm and settledness and integration perhaps within our own skin. So how do you feel about you? Are you feeling safe and comfortable to be yourself in all situations as much as possible? And if not, why? Maybe it's not really to do with external things as far as places or people around you. Maybe it's more about how comfortable or uncomfortable you feel about yourself. And that feels quite deep. So maybe on Tuesday we might have the opportunity to be in our own company, to see what it's like inside our head and our body, inside how we feel, so that we can get to know ourselves better. This is really probably the starting point in finding more purpose and meaning, because it's a growth of confidence and surety about ourselves, knowing who we are on a deeper level. So that feels quite deep for Tuesday, but I do feel we're coming full circle. So really, I feel this week it's very much about, probably in the back of our mind at least, about integration, finding a way to settle down, calm things down a little bit for ourselves, settle into our life, into the moment, into our skin, settle into our breath, and really into who we are. And that feels very strong. So I trust that resonates for your week. We won't know till we go through it. So let's see how the week unfolds. So I'm going to pull a theme card in a moment. Before I do, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment. Please subscribe if you're on my YouTube channel. That's Temple of Balance on YouTube. And if you would like to reach out more privately, please don't hesitate to send us an email. So coming up, we have my next online art class. It's about rebirth. That's on Friday the 14th of October. And also my next card reading club is online. It's on the 14th as well. And we'll be exploring the cards and finding personal guidance that's focused on the theme which is for me. And it's not me, as in me, it's for me, as in for you or for whoever's joining. So we'll be looking at the things that we personally need and finding guidance in the cards so we could get some clarity and some focus and some direction in what we need and where we want to go in our life. So if you want to join me for some card reading fun on Zoom or my art class, please have a look on my website, templeofbalance.com.au. If you want to learn more about my cards. Also, the big news is that the Healing Energy cards, which are long awaited, long awaited for a couple of years actually, the Healing Energy cards upgrade of the original deck that's been long sold out, and my brand new Healing Energy cards number 2, my 5th deck of cards, they're about to go to the printers. So we are looking at opening pre-orders in November or December, and those decks will be here early 2023. So it's very exciting news. So there'll be more details on that soon, but keep an eye on my Healing Energy cards Facebook page, and we'll be doing an online launch there as well. So lots to be found, lots to explore. Please have a look on my website, templeofbalance.com.au. You can find the link in the description of this video. So, okay, I feel excited actually. Let's pull our theme card. The theme card for this week will help bring these days together and help us see the bigger picture for this week, starting Wednesday the 5th of October through till Tuesday the 11th of October 2022. And the best theme card for the majority of us for this week is, let's find it. The best theme card for this week is this. It's a Speed of Light Oracle card. And it's this. This is our card for today that came up on our Facebook page. Speed of Light Oracle cards. And it's Purification, card 8. And it says cleanse, detoxification, and toxins. This is purging. This is really deep letting go. And there are going to be some things that will support us this week better, or we can support the energy better this week if we surrender and let go. So, like I said before, for example, around the boundaries. If you've got defenses, if you've got big castle walls up and you're hiding back and you're defending them and you won't let anyone in, you won't let yourself out, you know, there's probably going to be a need to face some truthful things about the things or the attitude that we have up around certain parts of ourselves that are holding us back. So it feels the best way we can support this great energy around this week is to be constantly letting go. And I don't need to do this quite so much now because of the space I'm in, but probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and for about 15 years before that, for those 15 years, for that chunk of time, I was letting go all the time, every day. Really focusing on letting go of everything that's holding me back. So sometimes we don't realize it, but we're holding on to things. We're holding on to behaviors, attitudes, bad habits. We're holding on to obsessions or addictions or ideas, or even things that we believe that aren't actually probably true. There are a lot of things we're told from a very young age, from parent figures, from role models, from teachers, from the media, from our governments as well, from authority figures or authority kind of bodies that convince us things or persuade us about things, and we end up believing these things. And we might not realize it. I didn't realize it at the time, that these things were like infecting, like worms, going out into all areas of my life. So I had to spend a massive chunk of my time, of my self-healing time, just really letting go of everything. I really just wanted to strip myself back to who I really am without these other things in the way. So who are you, and do you want to get to know yourself for who you really are? You might have to spend some time this week really letting go and surrendering, releasing all the parts of yourself, all the masks that you wear, all the disguises that you put up, all the titles that you have owned and claimed? Can you strip all these things back and start afresh with the things that feel true and the things that feel right for you and your heart? So letting go is our theme this week. Cleansing, purging, releasing, surrendering of everything and anything that is holding you back. And it's a great mantra even to have. I let go of everything that's holding me back. And then breathe some really big breaths out. As you breathe out, you let go. And you create space then to allow the new to come in through your new in-breath. So breathing out, letting go of everything that's holding you back. And you may need to be willing to change parts of who you are as well with that. So try not to have a hold on anything, but really surrender and allow what's true to stay, because what's true will stay. What's not true will release, if you're ready for that. So it's quite big and it's quite deep. And I think that feel that we have the opportunity to go quite deep this week. It's going to be up to us. Are you sick of scraping the surface? Are you sick of superficial relationships? Are you sick of not understanding things on a deeper level? Well, I feel that for those of us who are ready to, there is opportunity for us to access some really deep, deep energies and deep healing this week. So it's going to be up to us. So I'll leave that with you. Thanks so much for joining me today. Have a great week ahead. Happy birthday, happy anniversary if you're celebrating. And I'll be back next week for the weekly guidance. And we'll try and pop into for some healing videos in between if this video doesn't disappear. So thanks for watching. Have a great week. Namaste.